If you are ambitious but lazy, it's worth starting with one simple question. Where does that ambition really come from? Is it from people around you or from what you see online? For most of us, it's social media. You see people your age making millions or living your dream life. Seeing this convinces you it's possible, and that's good because it keeps your ambitions alive. But it also creates a massive gap between where you are and where you want to be. And because you don't know how to close that gap, your lack of action starts to feel like laziness and wasted potential. I've been stuck there too, lying in bed scrolling, watching people do everything I wanted to do. The guilt would build, not because I didn't care, but because I didn't know where to start. But eventually I figured out how to break that cycle, and I say this with confidence because I've done 3 university degrees and now work as a doctor living in London. I've grown my YouTube channel to over 150,000 subscribers, and I've built a good, balanced life that I actually enjoy living. And the good news is, if you're ambitious, even if you feel lazy, it means that deep down you already believe you're capable of more. So I'm going to share a 3-part method that helped me go from your position of just dreaming big to becoming someone who actually does something about it. And if I'm honest, the advice isn't particularly amazing, but it's exactly what does work that most people for some reason don't do. And each part of this method builds on the next, so if you're serious about your ambitions, you'll pay attention until the end. So the first step is both a mindset and strategy, and it starts with realizing that laziness isn't a character flaw. It's actually useful feedback. When you feel lazy, your brain is telling you something important. It could be telling you that the task feels too big or unclear, but very often it's telling you that your energy levels don't match with what you're trying to do. Think about your own day. There are times where you're sharp and focused, and other times where you're drained and distracted. And if you stumbled across this video now, maybe you're in one of those lower energy dips. For me, understanding that my lazy moments were just low energy signals changed my approach on laziness, because I started to track my natural energy patterns. So instead of forcing myself to push through, I started working with my energy and not against it. So I mapped out when I had the most focus or energy and found 2 energy peaks. This was early morning and again after dinner, so I used these moments for deeper, high focus work. And I saved the lower energy times like just before dinner or just before bed for less mentally demanding tasks. The goal is to use your ambition and willpower when they'll create momentum, not burn them out by forcing yourself to work when your brain's running empty. It's just like your physical energy. You wouldn't try to hit a heavy gym session when you're half asleep, so don't expect deep mental work when your brain's clearly asking for rest. And now the next strategy that helped me make progress towards my ambitions was building what I call a productive lazy mode. And there's 2 parts to this. So as I mentioned in the previous point, we won't always have energy. We won't always be able to go in and out of deep focus to get on with what we need to be doing. There'll be days where you don't want to start that big thing, and that's fine. But you can't just ignore those days and pretend that you'll always have the motivation or discipline, because that won't help. So what you should do is set up a system for those days with the productive lazy mode. What I do is keep a list of low effort forward moving tasks, like replying to emails, making simple edits to scripts or videos, or practicing piano for just 10 minutes. That way when I'm procrastinating, I don't fall back into watching 3 hours of YouTube. I switch into one of those tasks that still moves me forward without needing 100% of my brain. And the second part of this strategy is to do something that sounds a bit strange, but it's to schedule boredom. Because sometimes laziness isn't fatigue or low energy, it's overstimulation. When you're constantly scrolling, switching apps, checking notifications, your brain forgets what real and calm focus even feels like. So I have a minimum of 10 minutes a day of no input time. Time where I have nothing going on. No phone, no music, not even any walking. I just sit there because that boredom seems to reset that stimulation that my brain was craving. That boredom makes it so that even work feels appealing again, better than just sitting there doing nothing. It's going to give you a way to be productive without needing 100% discipline or motivation. And the more you give your mind a chance to reset through boredom, the easier it becomes to switch into focused work, making deep work towards your goals less of a struggle and more of a default. Now for a quick update, I'm working on building an online course and community and would highly appreciate your feedback and input. So check out the links in the description. It would help me out a lot if you would provide some feedback in terms of what you find helpful from my videos and what you feel would help even more as part of a course or community. Thank you in advance, and now back to the video. And now the third part of this strategy is to avoid obsessing over the dream outcome. Don't think about the dream job, your ideal physique, or the status you want, because focusing too much on the outcome makes the starting point feel impossible, which is what creates that massive gap I talked about in the beginning. The better approach is to build momentum through consistent actions. I never aimed to hit certain subscriber or view count milestones. I just showed up, wrote scripts, edited and posted videos. I never set out for a particular physique. I just kept going to the gym and live a healthy lifestyle. Most people don't get this. They underestimate what happens when you stick to the fundamentals for months and especially years. That dream goal only becomes possible once you build daily momentum, and that starts with the habits so small that you can't say no to them. So if you have a particular goal in mind, you need to break it down into smaller actionable steps. I don't care what that goal is. There will always be something small you can do, and I'm sure asking any AI software for those small actions will give you the direction you need. Just remember that these changes don't happen overnight. You can't have the dream lifestyle without putting in the work that others have put in to get there. You need to keep consistent with your actions, and that's made easier if you start small. So just as how it's helped me act on my ambitions and make real progress towards my goals, all of this is going to help you do the same. But maybe you're still thinking, even if I try, I'm just not smart enough to get there. If this is what you think, the good thing is that being smart isn't something you're born with. It's a skill you can develop. I've definitely gotten smarter over my 8 years at university, not just in knowledge, but also in how fast I learn new things and deal with new problems. And in this video here, I explain exactly how you can train that skill even if you think you're dumb, so that you can become smarter and make those ambitions come to life much faster. So click the video to learn more.